Hey, Jen. Happy interview day. It's Jessica.
Is it Jessica? Oh, wait, you're telling everybody else. That was funny. I thought we were like on the phone and you were like, it's Jessica. I was like, I know it's you.
Oh, no. Hey.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Fat Mascara.
I'm Jen Sullivan.
Okay. All right. You know, if you're here, this is the day where we do our big sit down. And today, it's just Jen.
But I have a good topic.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. Now, I'm a little jealous because this is a conversation this is a topic we've been batting around for a little while now. And it's Jen and I have been saying we got to get somebody who's behind the scenes on set working with product where the star is not a person, but the product. Who is working with the product on set? Like where the product is the main event. The product is the celebrity.
The product being the beauty product specifically.
Yeah. Who is smushing around the pigments? Who is smushing around with the powders?
Yes. And I found that person, Kounthear Kuch. She's a prop stylist, and she really focuses her work on the beauty industry. So she's worked with Supergoop, Laneige, Innisfree, Amore Pacific, CeraVe, Kiehl's, Elizabeth Arden, We the People, Quip, Straightaway, Scentbird. I mean, I could go on. And Essie, nail polishes. She does lots of nail polishes. We talk about that. So we are going to talk about...
Tricky.
Yeah, the secrets of how that all works, but also just the trends she's been seeing in beauty visuals in general. Because I'm sure you guys see them too when you're scrolling through your feeds on social media. Like Jess talked about just a couple weeks ago about how all the fonts have that like vibe right now, that like bloopy vibe. What's going on there? Color trend plays a lot into her work, but so does texture trends and the way people are working with beauty products. And also she just shares some fun stories of like how they get that photo that you're always like, how did they do that? So I am really excited to bring you this interview. Let's get into it. Okay, Kounthear, welcome to Fat Mascara. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you calling us from? Like we're doing our virtual studio. Where are you? Paint a picture for people.
I live in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn.
Okay. Brooklyn, New York. And we're going to talk all about what you do. We've been hyping this up all summer because multiple people have asked about what goes into making beauty textures look good, beauty product photo shoots look good. So we'll talk about that. But I want to get to know you first and let the listeners get to know you. How did you even get into prop styling? It's not like there's an undergraduate degree in prop styling, or is there?
I don't think there is. I was working in fashion and I realized I didn't like that. And so I was kind of doing e-commerce, had a studio and just wardrobe styling. And I saw another studio doing prop styling, but I didn't know what it was. And so I just saw this stylist styling perfumes and I was like, whoa, just objects, no people. And so I was like, wow, that looks like something I would definitely be into. And so the producer saw I was really interested in that. She just connected me and I started assisting for a year.
Okay, so you didn't know what prop styling was. Maybe some of our listeners don't. How would you describe the job that you do?
I pretty much summarize it as me just styling objects, no people, just things. Anything that you see in a photo shoot, someone is hired to do it, which is a prop stylist.
So you're both the products themselves, but then any accessories in a photo shoot, any textures, any of that stuff?
Well, yeah, definitely. Sometimes there is a wardrobe stylist if people are involved, but necklaces on a table, a countertop, for bathroom scenes, anything that's just an object, really.
Wait, bathroom scenes? Go on,
Yeah.
Tell me more. What's a bathroom scene?
Well, I mean, for beauty brands, everyone wants a fake countertop and I don't know, vanity decorations and a cup of water.
Do they? Do you get this detailed from a client of what they want?
I mean, they want it to look so it's an actual bathroom, but it's most of the times it's in a studio. So the scenes are just really small.
So even those beautiful shelfies and vanities we see, or mirrors, a lot of those photos that we're looking at are actually in a studio?
Yeah.
And then there's you building that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that? Built a sink in a vanity?
Yeah, I have. And it's I'm really small. I'm 5'3". So when the scenes are really big, it's kind of hard for me because I'm tiny. So I prefer not to do bigger scenes with sinks and stuff. Obviously, I just have to hire someone to help me carry all this stuff. But I've definitely been asked to like get a sink or like a look-alike sink or like build like tile walls. Like everyone wants a fake tile wall. So I have like a fabricator I use to like make me a fake tile wall. But most of them are like 4x4, 4 feet by 4 feet, like walls, and not like extremely huge, you know?
I want to get into some of this because I think a lot of people don't realize all that goes into making a beautiful image for beauty. But if you look at your portfolio, there is a lot of beauty. Like you just already mentioned bathroom scenes and everybody wants a tile wall. When did you start and why did you start getting into beauty specifically? I feel like that's your beat, sort of, right?
Yeah, I definitely like working in the beauty industry or like just beauty styling. I was assisting someone for like a year and she mainly styled beauty products, but I really like it because I like doing textures. It's almost like you're painting with skincare products and it's like, I don't know, less caring, lots of props and more of like textures. I mean, that's the focus I would like to ideally end, my end goal. Yeah, I mean, I do almost any type of styling really, but I my focus is beauty and I think that's why my portfolio, I mainly post like texture stuff.
So who are some of the beauty clients that you've worked with?
Let's see. I work with Sarah V, like monthly. Solwasu, I've worked with a few times. Laneige, Elizabeth Arden, Dove.
That's a lot of skincare.
Yeah. There's a lot of skincare. Like last week I just did this week I did a full-on texture day, which is like my favorite day.
What's a texture day?
I just like painting with the skincare products and just like doing that all day. It's like really nice. Sometimes I'll put the products next to like a swipe or like I worked with body scrubs this week.
So like there's just a flat thing. Let's do that day. Let's take that as an example, right? It was a texture day, whatever that means, which we're going to find out. But like, how did you prep for it? What went into it? What did you bring in your kit? And then what's the day like? I'm just picturing like how many times you got to squirt a white thing and take a photo. Like, tell me everything.
This product wasn't white, but it was a body scrub. So there are 3 different colors. Most of the times you use acetate, like projector, like the clear film that people use. So you use like acetate and you'll like kind of have paint palettes or whatever it is that you need to make a type of swipe. Because some people really like things combed through. And yeah, so I use a lot of palette knives. And this was just mainly like an overhead shot. So it's just a picture of the texture from above.
Like a smear.
Yeah, it's like a smear. Like they are smears sometimes. For scrubs, it's like you kind of want to feel like you want to touch it and like use the scrub. So I was kind of trying to move in that way of, I don't know, every product is so different. So you kind of have to like understand what you're trying to sell and how to use it.
What's combed through? What's combed through mean?
Well, there's like sometimes if you look at swipes there or smears, they have a line where it's almost like it is a comb, some like a form of combs, like either palette knives that have lines. So it just adds it's an additional texture that you add to the texture just to look different. Because if you like mainly do white skincare products, it's like, how do I make this skincare product look a little bit more unique? It's like small like additions, like sometimes you'll add another swipe over a swipe and like you'll try to move in a certain way. And based on the consistency of the product, you have to kind of work with it.
Is there like a Kounthear technique like you're known for your comb throughs?
No, I don't think so. I think that like people do hire me for like my beauty whips and stuff. I haven't done them in a little bit, but just like textures, like people are like, she's good at that. And I do them really quickly. I feel like it's like I don't know, you have to kind of mimic like you're the product in a way because you have to move with it. And that's kind of like how I don't know, everything is just so different. I never get to like practice anything before. So it's just the more you have worked with it or the more you practice, if you're like just starting off into the beauty world, you just have to practice. I was like lucky I had a really great stylist that I assisted that guided me. And because like beauty whips are really hard.
What is a beauty whip?
So you know how like whenever you look at like skincare products, they have like the lotion and it looks like a cupcake top pretty much on top of it.
The jar lid is off.
Yeah.
And it looks luscious and tasty.
Yeah, so someone definitely has, it takes a lot of time to do that. Not everyone can do it well. I think I do it pretty decently. I learned under someone that like helped me figure it out, but it just really is. Every single product is so different. The thicker the skincare product for the whips, the harder it is, in my opinion. But like you have to kind of you have to come up with like everything. Like I use a really small spoon and like it's just me and a spoon trying to like make it look like it wasn't done by a person. Like it just came out of the package like that, but it didn't.
Like not too perfect, but
yeah,
still very perfect.
yeah. Like I think someone once told me that my styling style is like organized chaos. So it's like I can make things look naturally chaotic but organized. So I don't know.
Well, this is interesting to me about the thickness of the product and the thicker being harder. Like, do you always work with the actual product that is in there, or are you allowed to mess with it? Because like, what if you make it pretty and then it all starts melting and oozing immediately and they can't get the shot?
Well, a lot of the times it's better to use the product because you don't want to like misguide the customers, you know? So I think if it's anything like a whip, I don't really like change the product at all. If it's like having to make bulk or something, then sometimes it's not what you see, but that's more of like the...
What do you mean make bulk? Like make it look fluffier than it is?
More so like I think a lot of clients have been wanting to pour products out. And so it is a little wasteful, but you can't always get the product because of production and like it's not out yet. So you kind of have to mimic what it might be. Like I have a client that's a nail polish brand and they always want to do like big shots with nail polish in a bunch of nail polish, you know, and like there isn't enough.
Like puddles of nail polish.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I have to like kind of play with different paints and like different, I've used like ultrasound gel to like mix it with color and kind of make it feel like nail polish or feel like something else. But those are like the cases that they really want this big giant puddle shot, but like they don't have enough products to send me beforehand. So I've had to like mimic things, but most of the times I use the product.
How did you find out that ultrasound gel looks like nail polish when it's colored?
It's not necessarily for nail polish. I've just used it for like certain things. Yeah.
Like a serum or something.
Yeah, but definitely like it's if you need like a thicker one because glycerin is big in the beauty world. Everyone uses glycerin because it kind of is bulbous whenever you shoot it. So you can get like nice shadows and stuff. But yeah, ultrasound gel is more like the thicker version of glycerin in my opinion.
Yeah, if it's lit and it doesn't have volume, then you won't even see it without like a little shadow behind it. I never even thought about this stuff. I want to ask you how CGI AI would affect that down the line. But before we get into that, you mentioned the like tile thing. You've mentioned a lot of people like a bulk or they want are there trends, I guess is what I'm asking. Are there like trends in prop styling? Like this is hot right now. Like what have you been doing a lot of?
Yeah, there's definitely trends. I feel like every deck I get, there's always one photo that I've already done before.
Well, that's flattering. If it's your photo.
Well, no, not like my photo. I think I've only seen like one or two decks with my photo in it, but I'm like newer than most prop stylists, I guess. I've been doing it for 4 years pretty much, but that's not that long for like a career.
But I've even noticed, like, when I look at product photos over the course of my career, which is longer, like, things change. Like, things that were, like, cool a couple of years ago look dated, even with, like, the shape of a smear, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, they used to all be, like, comma-shaped when I was working in magazines. And, like, we'd do all these, like, comma-shaped, and now they're not. Do you see, what is, like, hot right now? Like, what do people want their textures to feel like and look like, and, like, the mood that they're trying to get with them?
I feel like, well, I don't know. I was asking another photographer friend of mine about this because I'm starting to see like beauty whips aren't like the cupcake, you know? So I think that might be changing. But then he told me that not everyone can do them. So maybe that's just why it's changing.
And by the cupcake, you mean the perfect like soft serve swirl on top.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, like trending wise, I think like a lot of people are doing a lot of ASMR, like motion stuff. So there's always like someone will like have a palette knife and move through the product. I feel like that's pretty like big.
So if you're on a
right
video
now.
shoot, we don't see you, but are you the person that if something's pouring delectably with a couple air bubbles, are you the person pouring it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I prefer like being that person because I have more control of things, and you can kind of just like be intuitive and flow with the way the motion's happening. There's like a lot of turntable stuff going on right now, like the spinny, like Lazy Susan almost.
Wait, turntable stuff. I can't picture it. Is this for videos? Tell me.
Yeah, it's for video. It's like I have an electronic turntable that spins, and then, you know, like you can put the product on it and it'll spin, or like it's a video thing. There's been a lot more motion happening in our like industry. And
Yeah,
but
it's
it's like
form video and like TikTok and Instagram videos. Is that what you mean? Like you have to make a still thing look like it's moving?
Yeah, or no, it is actually just moving. Like when I am pouring like nail polish or something, you know, there's the motion through it, and then sometimes they want to comb through it or like play with the texture, just like people just like watching that. I mean, I like doing it, so it's like kind
why
of
do you
like,
think that is? It's so satisfying.
yeah, it's really satisfying. I mean, I like doing it. It feels cool and like very like, I don't know, meditative for me, because I just kind of, I feel like I'm just going with the flow of how everything is. But I don't know, for me, my like thing is I like watching people cook food. So it's like different.
Well, yeah,
but,
that overhead. How many times have you seen on any social media now? It's so hot to do like a recipe cooking video with that overhead, with the lighting, and you see the bowl, and like this gets thrown in, that gets thrown in, mix, mix, mix.
Yeah, there's definitely trends of food and beauty and stuff, but I feel like right now my whole like algorithm is spring roll paper. I don't know why. Like I've watched so many videos of spring roll paper being turned into something.
Have you tried it yourself?
I've tried this like one that's like a pillow and you stuff it with, I put mushrooms in it.
Are you a good cook? I feel like your cooking is part of the, it feels like what you're describing is like cooking on set, kind of.
Yeah, it kind of is like that. My brother and I actually were talking about this. My brother is a pastry chef. He has a bakery in Houston, and he was telling me that like when he was learning to like do cakes and stuff, he doesn't do cakes anymore, but it's like palette knives and like those different tools you have to use and know the consistency of things to like kind of make it smooth out really evenly. And it's a similar feeling, but it's like a science to like beauty products.
Okay, it's a science, but it's also an art in that every time you've described something to me, I see your body moving, and like it's almost like Kounthear is one with the product. Like, did you ever take dance lessons?
I did competitive cheerleading and gymnastics growing up. So I like dancing, and I am very like a movement person.
That I think ties into why you might like your job. Now, have you ever taken like a sculpture class? Because a lot of things you're describing are like things you might learn how materials and mediums work and move from sculpting, but you're not an art student, right?
I took one pottery class and I thought it'd be really good. And I was just like, I felt like I could have been better. But it was only like one of those like go on a date type of pottery classes.
Like Ghost the movie.
Yeah. And
how was the date?
yeah, well, it was my ex-boyfriend, and I was like annoyed because I was like, why is he better at this than me? Like I should be better at this than you. But it's fine. I only did it once, but I do like, I guess like during COVID, I kind of like, I went to the dollar store and I was like, I have to find ways to entertain myself. So I just like bought all this stuff to like entertain myself. And one of the things I was doing during COVID was I was making tiny figurines out of clay. And I don't know, I played with Play-Doh growing up, but I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm like a big clay person. But I bought like clay and I was posting, what should I make today? And people would tell me to make things. And so then I would try to make it and it'd either be like really good or really bad, but I would make it. And so I just kind of got familiar with sculpting that way, but I don't think that I'm like a sculptor. I like learning, and I'm like always trying to figure out how to do new things. One of the recent things I was trying to figure out was bending plexiglass. It's just like melting it and like shaping it and stuff. I don't know. I just like kind of felt like we use plexiglass a lot in photo shoots, and like in beauty stuff, there's a lot of like movements that happen. And so I thought like maybe plexiglass and like learning how to like shape that might be interesting. It takes
because
a
if
lot
you
of
made like a little
time.
slide, like a twisted slide, and you could pour your product down, it would look like that
Yeah.
shape. There's no teacher for this. You have to like kind of make it up as you go.
Yeah, the whole job is like being a good problem solver and just being curious and questioning how to do things. And like if you have someone you assist that is willing to teach you is really great too. I like have assistants that I definitely like guide to do this. And like some I'm like, why didn't you watch me? You should watch me, because if you want to do this, it's going to help you. Like ask me all the questions you want. I'm willing to like teach. I think this industry is only growing. So I love like sharing knowledge. And all like other assistants that have like blossomed to being their own, they still text me and they're like, hey, where have you found this before? Because you have to source ingredients a lot, and you just have to kind of know how to figure things out like really quickly.
Talk to me about sourcing ingredients. What? Oh, I am now picturing all of these beauty events I've been to over the years where like whatever extractive hocus pocus or like some Brazilian fruit or a perfume ingredient like a tonka bean, and they just have like beakers of them out at their event, and I never even give it a thought.
Yeah.
Are you having to find like exotic ingredients that are in beauty products?
Oh, yeah. I feel like the one that everyone wants that just drives me insane is bergamot. Like, I love the smell of bergamot. I think it's a very beautiful fruit, but it is only in season in December, and everyone wants it all the time. Unless you have like an Italian hookup, everyone substitutes it for limes. It looks practically
It's a bumpy.
the same.
What is? Yeah, describe bergamot, and also where do you get the bergamot?
Well, the first time I saw bergamot was when I was in France, and my friend's dad was cooking and had it, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's bergamot in real life. Like, I was like freaking out, and I was just like, this fruit is haunting me. It's like it looks like a lime, and it's like really bumpy, but they use it a lot in like perfumes and just like a lot of products. The smell is really nice, but there also is like a bergamot flower, but it's like so delicate. I think it's also called like bee balm or something like that. But yeah, that is like something that they're always asking for, and I'm like, okay, this is not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I've sourced like tea trees, like I have to order that overnight from a farm, but you know, like,
where's the tea tree come from?
The one that I found is in North Carolina.
Oh, so you mean, does anywhere in the United States grow bergamot?
I don't think so.
So that's
and I
the
actually
issue.
like, yeah, actually I've seen it here at H Mart in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in December, as in, here's a like holiday fruit that we've imported from wherever. What other challenges do you face when you're sourcing ingredients?
I mean, I guess it's like the timing of shipping and everything. What else have I had to source? I don't know. There's so many random things, like different types of branches, lots of different woods, like cedar. And it's like cedar's like, I don't know, pretty but not pretty. Like,
so the example be like, there's a fragrance and they're shooting the bottle, but they want like they want a couple of like the notes that are in the fragrance to be like around the bottle. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Actually, it's something that is it's like kind of off topic and funny to me, but I had a block party in Bed-Stuy. I don't know if you know this, but like there's block parties every single week.
Mm-hmm.
My block party was this past weekend, and I saw some women trying to like get this banner to stand up, but they were just using cones, and I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So I went up to them, I was like, oh, I have a bunch of rocks if you want to use them. And so you have to like source rocks sometimes, and like pretty rocks for
So you
photo
have a pretty
shoots.
rock collection?
Yeah. So I have like a lot of rocks, and so I was like, I brought all these rocks to them, and they were like, wow, these rocks are so pretty. She's like, someone's going to steal these rocks. And I was like, you can have them. Like, I don't need all
Those
these
are your
rocks
set
in my
rocks.
house.
You need those rocks.
But I can always like get more rocks. There are always more rocks around, you know?
Like, what else is a big challenge for you? Like, finding an ingredient that's out of season sounds crazy, but
Yeah,
on
that's the
set or
worst.
things like that, like, what do we not know about that, like, is a really hard part of your job?
I think understanding gravity is a big part. Yeah,
I'm picturing like the art director client being like, we want it to bubble directly vertically up. And you're just like, but there's gravity.
Yeah, there was
No,
this
but
one,
what did you mean?
There was this one shoot. It wasn't beauty. I did this job. I really didn't want to do it, but I ended up doing it. And it was for a mochi company because they were just like, you just have to put it in front of the camera and that's it. But then when I got to set, I'm not a food stylist. I do beauty.
Are we talking frozen mochi?
Yeah, frozen mochi.
Okay, frozen mochi. That's absolutely not true because I've opened up mochi packs and they look janky. So that doesn't just, all right, continue the story.
So they were like, yeah, you just have to put it in front of the camera. I'm like, okay, if it's just sitting on a pedestal or something, I can do that. But then I got to set and they were like, oh, what really works for us is if mochi is suspended in the air. And I was like, what? I'm not a food stylist. I never said I was. And so it just like was so frustrating because it's ice cream and it's melting. And it's like, they want me to suspend it. So then I'm like, I finally figured out because it like took me a bit because I don't really think that way about frozen stuff because I prefer not to do it. And I ended up using, those like computer cans, like the air, compressed air.
Yeah.
If you turn it upside down, it freezes things. So I was like freezing it as it was in front of because the lights are super hot. So it's like I have to constantly freeze the mochi.
So you strung it up. Like I'm picturing like fishing line and like a hook. I don't know. How do you even get it to suspend?
I was using armature wire.
Okay. So you've wired it up and it immediately is dripping.
Yeah. It was a nightmare. So you're spraying it was like the worst shoot.
Like liquid nitrogen, basically, compressed air to get it to be cold.
Yeah, that was like a nightmare of a shoot. And so I will never do that again. But yes,
Thank you for your service. That sounds like, did it look, in your opinion, did it look so much better hanging? Or did it give a different shadow effect or something than it would if it was sitting?
I feel like I get it. I get the idea. It fits the client and their style, but I don't know. It ended up just kind of looking like AI anyway. So just don't put someone through that torture and just do AI with this.
I was curious about that because a lot of the challenges that we were just talking about, I imagine already there's the ability to do some of these things and do it in post, which was like our lean, like on anything on set, if it ever went wrong, we'll fix it in post. But like, does that play into your job now? And how do you think it'll affect going forward?
Well, I don't know. For like the beauty world, I feel like it's hard to like make a computer understand aesthetics. You either get it or you don't. Like with our industry, aesthetics is like, you still have to have someone to control and set it. So maybe I need to start learning how to use a computer better. I don't know. But I've tried to like teach aesthetics to people and it's hard. You really have to just have the eye. And so I don't know how you train a computer to do that or artificial stuff,
So I've been on set with like, but it was with fashion styles, but like lay downs, like where the wrinkle is, like they were always like odd numbers are better, which I didn't realize, but it's absolutely true. If you look at a picture, even of like products from like a line of skincare, if you put 4, okay. But then if you put 3 or 5, it just looks so much better. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but even just like the direction like a bottle is laying or facing, I guess like
that moment it clicks when it just looks right.
You just feel like, you set it up and then you can make small movements after and like just kind of figure it out. But you have to know and have that eye to be able to like, I don't know. Because if you don't, then it takes longer. And so you're just sitting there and then they always want like 1 million photos a day. So you have to be able to set things up really quickly. And if you struggle with aesthetics, then it might not work that fast.
Do you find it to be subjective or objective? Because I'm thinking like you will say it looks good. Obviously, this is your job and that's why people hire you. Is it ever like the photographer's like, no, this is the better angle or the client? Like, do people tend to agree that have a good eye, a visual eye, if you will, when that moment happens, do you find?
Yeah, definitely. And it's always nice when there's an art director too, but it's hard to read.
So you usually agree. You all just kind of just know?
You can just kind of feel like the way it looks. Like if it's even like a 1/4 of an inch heavier on one side or if it doesn't feel balanced. Like there has to be some type of balance with it.
Yeah. I guess a computer could learn from past photos that are well-regarded photos of like the rules, but you're right. It's not as simple. I try to make it all simple. I was like, odd numbers, this angle. It's not math, right? Like that's the art part I hear you saying,
Yeah,
right?
because it's like I would do something and no one would even know that. No one's ever thinking like, oh, I just need to turn it clockwise, like barely. The babyest movements are like what you do as a prop stylist, because it's like you could totally just start all over. And like sometimes it is better to start over. Like if something's not working, you just clear it and redo it, and then it'll be like more fresh. But it's hard with prop styling because I like to describe it as like dance monkey dance. Like everyone, where like no one knows about what we do, but everyone's like, I want 10 to 20 photos a day and like give me a new creative set every single time. And it's like very draining on just having to be creative like multiple times a day. It's like very hard, but that's why I call it like dance monkey dance, because it's like, okay, here's the next one you have to build, and next one and next one. And so like sometimes
you're not
you
just
do
executing, it's art every time.
Yeah, and you just have to reset and like kind of figure it out. And around like 3 o'clock, everyone starts getting a little crazy, like on set. Like we're just like, my brain is like, this is too much right now. Then there's always the coffee run, and then you get back into the flow of it. But yeah.
We talked a lot about skincare, but like, talk to me about color. Like, do you also do when there's like a smear of makeup or a color product on, whether it's acetate or an arm or things like that? Is that part of your job?
Yeah, I have put like smears on faces and like done the whole color arm swatch situation.
That's what I want to talk about. What is up with the arm swatches? I don't know when this happened. Have you noticed this? Like all of a sudden, 5 years ago, I want to say, you couldn't launch a lip, eye, face product, blush even, without 3 people's arms, like white, beige, and brown. You know what I mean? Like it just became a thing. What is that about?
I don't know. I hope it's gone.
Tell me why. What's your take on the whole thing?
I mean, I personally just like, I'm sure someone has figured out a better system. I have only understood to like use tape to make the measurements because every arm is a different shape, you know, and you want to make it clean looking, but...
Oh yeah, they're like perfect squares sometimes.
Yeah, and so I'm sure there's a template you could use to put on someone's arm and like just paint it, but I don't know. I don't love doing it, but I will do it.
So you have had to do that?
Yeah, I've had to do it a few times.
Like a parts model's just got their forearm down.
And then I'm like watching them, I'm like, please don't touch anything.
Well, but say it's like 10 lipsticks go on that person's arm or however many fit. Like how long would that take?
I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes. It depends on the texture. It's not that long, but it's just, I think the setting up part for me is the longest. I use tape, but like I'm sure there's a better way to do it. But that's just been like if you have the exact same size of tape, then everything is going to be spaced out the same. But
yeah, but people's bodies move and things shift and melt. Like I'm even picturing like when I get tattoos and they think they have the stencil on straight and then you go to the mirror and like you move a certain way and your tree's wonky. They lay down their arm and it looks completely different than straight or whatever.
Yeah, and that's like your eye is trained to like understand what straight is. So I don't know.
My eye isn't.
My eye. Yeah. Like I can see anything crooked and it bothers me. So there's a slight OCD-ness that happens with our job.
Do you walk into a room and like clock what the frames are like and the shelves? And
sometimes I'll fix it. But like just like
and then you want to fix it. This is that visual eye. I think you're right. I think some people just have it and some people are just like they don't even notice those things.
Yeah. I feel like, well, because I do have like a background in like fashion design. So I liked pattern making. And like when I sew really fast. And like you have to just kind of know how to like make a straight line.
Yeah. Do you as a consumer of beauty products, if you ever consume them, do you like the arms? I'm curious, did they find like that products sold more when they were on the arms? I like it because I can feel like which girl has the closest to my skin color and then look down the line of products. But I just keep wondering, is there a better way? Because it feels so disembodied.
It just seems like the best area to understand and compare color, like you're not going to put it on your thigh, you know? Like
why not? That's what I was literally just thinking. I was like, let's just go rogue and do our own PDP, product description page, and like just a bunch of thighs.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah. There are like butt creams and stuff, and there's butts, so might as well just put foundation on your butt. I don't know.
Well, actually, now that we're saying this, maybe I'm getting the answer because I'm picturing the makeup artist working on set. I'm sure you've worked on set with makeup artists. And when they're mixing or trying products, it's often the back of their hand or their arm. Yeah, when you're swatching on yourself as a makeup artist, you like swipe down 4 lipsticks on your forearm and like hold them up to a model's face.
Yeah.
I could see where then someone behind the scenes was like, oh, let's just show the arm. And then,
yeah. I mean, it just
know.
makes sense. Like just all the color. And it's the flattest surface as well, you know, like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This area is like pretty flat, so you can like kind of see things better. But some people have shorter forearms. Well, technically, most people have this area. It's about like a foot. Like if you measure, with most people, it's about a foot long. Whenever I go shopping and I need to measure things, I like will measure from here to here, and it's about a foot. And
on all people or people your size?
I think on most people. Like, go try it out. And then like right here is 1 inch.
She's showing us the first knuckle to the second knuckle. Okay, let's see.
The pinky.
So my forearm is, are we talking from elbow to wrist?
I think, yeah, like wrist to like elbow here.
Wrist to elbow. I mean, mine's a little short, but that's a ruler.
Yeah.
And then let's see, from my second to my third knuckle on oh my God, that's exactly 1 inch.
Yeah. So like I'll like walk around and I'll be like 1, 2, like I'll just measure.
When you're shopping, like I know I need like 4 feet of acetate or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. If I just like need to know what the size of something is, those are like good rulers, I guess. Random information, but yeah.
Well, as we were talking about the trends with the forearms, I was thinking, are there other trends? Like, remember when millennial pink was everywhere? Do you notice certain color trends? My mom and I were just talking about, you know how cars now have, like, as of 2 years ago, I decided to call it milky pastel, but like you're nodding. You know this car I'm talking about. It's like, I used to live in Bed-Stuy. I live in Park Slope now. It's always a Subaru Forester or something. And it's like this like milky army green or milky blue-gray. You know that color?
Yeah.
Do you get a vibe for like when a vibe shift is happening in visual aesthetics in your business?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely colorful right now. Like, I don't know if you remember, there was like an article out that was like about how everyone was using the sky reflecting in a mirror. That was like a huge trend for a while. Do you remember that?
I didn't see the article, but I know what you're talking about. It was was that like right as the pandemic was ending?
I feel like this was like maybe a year and a half ago. Like everyone wanted product. It's still going on. It's still happening. Like
blue sky optimism vibes.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of that.
When yellow started coming, like there was like just yellow everywhere.
Yeah. Is it brat green now? I don't know.
This summer feels like I might be the only person who actually wears like fluorescent green. I have a fluorescent green t-shirt. I wore it out yesterday. I was like, oh, it was my 7 people said to me, oh, brat summer. I'm like, it's not a brat summer t-shirt. It's just my t-shirt. It's just this color. But so it's brat green. But do you feel anything on the horizon coming color-wise, or even with like tiles? Like, why does everybody have that 1 inch by 4 inch emerald green tile as like a backsplash? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I mean, I mainly just get tiles based on the client's like color, but their brand color. But I've gotten like custom tiles made, and sometimes I actually use like a wood fabricator, and then he paints it.
So it looks like tile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. That's just like, it looks nicer than like that fake vinyl stuff that you can buy on Amazon.
Oh.
But I don't know. Is there a trend right now with the colors? What have I been doing? I feel like I've been working with like brands that are more muted lately. But I think there is like the pink to blue situation that's happening with some brands. I don't know.
Yeah, the muted thing. It's like they're not pastels. Like I always think of the Crayola boxes when I was growing up. Like there was the jewel tones and the pastels and the bolds, or the markers more, I guess. And yeah, those milky kind of muted, if you add like 50% white to everything kind of vibes. I've noticed that.
I do see that. Yeah.
Do you ever work with perfume or candles and have to make those look good?
Yeah, I used to work with a Scentbird a lot, and that's a lot
Do you
of
have to do the
perfumes.
spray? We were just talking about this. I had an episode and we were talking about explosions in perfume and how they create either the blast of the spray or the bottle itself exploding. Do you ever have to make those happen?
I've like done stuff with like smoke in the background and fog and stuff. Oh, I did do a shoot with Finery, Target's brand.
Yeah.
I did do a scene with that, and it was supposed to look like a smoky forest scene. And like sometimes you can buy like fog spray or like use Palo Santo, and like that kind of makes it smoky. But I think one of the best parts of it, or the easiest smoke area or smoke thing, was a vape pen.
Like that makes a nice cloud that hangs around.
Yeah, which
don't give away all your trade secrets.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to do it, but my friend had to like do it because he had a vape, and we're like, whoa, poor guy. That sucks. But yeah,
Let's
try
just
it all the
pretend
time.
he was vaping herbs and wasn't getting himself really high.
Yeah.
How about that?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you work with you get to touch and play with so many products. Does any of it influence your own beauty routine?
I'm pretty simple, but actually, you know what? I worked with Supergoop once, and I still like using their products.
Oh, like you actually liked the product and started buying it then?
Yeah, I started buying it. And also like Laneige's, their sunblock I really like.
Which Supergoop? I'm sorry. This is my podcast. And now I'm like, you can't just say Supergoop and not tell me this SKU. But like, what did you do a shoot with that you ended up using?
It was like, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago. But it was kind of cool because it was the first time I saw my work at Sephora.
Oh, and a big visual on a gondola or something.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, oh, nice. Well, actually, that and Laneige, those are the two brands I've worked with that I've seen like my work there. But the Supergoop one stayed up the longest, which was cool because I had like a big two different textures of, it was the tinted like face stuff. I don't really know the names of the products.
Clearly it's not influenced your beauty routine that much.
Look, I'm a visual person. Words are not my thing. Like if I could just draw what I mean all the time, I'll speak in emojis, and it's fine.
So it was like a tinted face product, and it was up in Sephora. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like one of my like goals is to get like a Subway ad. I just think it's so cool. But I've only gotten a billboard in Times Square once, which is like exciting.
Only. That's so cool. What was it for?
It was for Quip, the toothbrush.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was in December, and I was like really excited about it, except I took the worst photo because I didn't want to be in Times Square. But I was like trying to do like that nerdy photo of like, this is my work. But then I was just like, no, I have anxiety. There's too many people around me.
Well, I mean, it only happens once. I think it was worth at least documenting.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a good photo.
Yeah. And then I went to Olive Garden after because
in Times Square?
Yeah.
And you got yourself some endless breadsticks to celebrate?
Yeah. And that salad's still good for me.
And I used to get, because I used to be a vegetarian, and I would get that, whatever their vegetarian soup was, salad and breadsticks. And I'd be like, I'm going to sit here for 3 hours and eat like 4 helpings of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, Olive Garden. It hits.
Yeah. No, there's like, so for Supergoop, there's like this oil that I like, has like a blue top on it.
Guys, we'll provide a link later in the episode recap. I'll look it up for you so you know what product.
Yeah. And then the everyday sunscreen I use too. Like, I love that. But I also I use CeraVe too, because I like the simpler, I don't really like to put too much into my body, I guess.
Have you ever been turned off to a beauty product or beauty product category because you're like, oh, I can't see another sheet mask, or I can't see another shower gel? I don't want it in my regular life because I work with it all the time.
Actually, I have a funny story for that. This week, I told you I did this texture shoot, and the product, I wasn't a fan of the smell. And I didn't when you're on set and you're just surrounded by, I'm really sensitive to smells. And so when you're surrounded by it, you don't really notice it. But I came home And I went into my bedroom and I was like, wait, was there someone in my house? I was like, my house smells natural.
Everybody knows their own
Something
house
different.
smell.
Yeah. And so I was like kind of freaking out. And then I went into my bathroom and I realized that the pants I was wearing that day, I had all this like product on the pants because I'm like, working with texture all day. And I realized that the combination of all the scents I had smelled like an old lady. And like, so I was like, oh, no one was in my house. It was just so strong of a smell. Like
permeated your clothes.
I was like, I thought someone came into my house while I was gone. And it was just the clothes. And so I washed it like the next
ghost
morning.
Of the set. If you like a natural smell though, then do you wear any perfume or burn any candles yourself in your house?
I have candles that I get from photo shoots.
Oh, do you have any favorites?
I like the Malin Aguette's rum candle.
Oh, very nice.
The dark rum, that one's a nice scent. And then I don't remember what it's called, but it's like, is it Apotheke or
Apotheca.
Yeah,
it's like Swedish.
one.
It's like a Nordic brand, might not be Swedish.
Yeah, it's like all white. I like that one too.
Oh, do you know which candle? Because I have that in my bathroom right now, but I forget. It's like a Santal kind of smell. Oh,
it's lemon zest and tangerine.
Oh, that sounds so refreshing and summery. Their candles are actually excellent, and they have like 10 cents, but that sounds zesty and delicious.
I'm now like wondering if I have worked with a candle brand. Like, it sounds like it would be nice.
It does, but if you had, I was going to ask you, because I've heard all these theories from other guests we've had about like how to get the perfect burn without tunneling, where the melt pool is all the way around the diameter. And then this theory that is floating is that per inch of circumference or diameter across is an hour to get it to burn out. So like those big, like those diptyque 3-wick kind of candles, like to get a melt pool across the top, it's like 6 hours. Any thoughts on this theory? She's thinking, please God, don't let me have to do a candle shoot and wait 6 hours to get it to melt. Oh, you'd probably bring like a heater, like a dryer.
Or there's like the heat plates and stuff. My friend Caitlin, she worked with Otherland. She's done a few of their shoots, and those were pretty fun.
They're gorgeous. Every time they have a new candle, it's got like a whole little setup that like puts you in the world of whatever that scent is.
Yeah. Oh, they had a really good scent because she gave that to me as a gift, and it was the Sriracha Rose. Did you ever smell that?
No, I didn't smell it. Was it good?
That one was like one of my favorite scents. Yeah.
You know what they reminded me of? Their shoots. You remember making dioramas? Do kids still make dioramas? Do you remember dioramas? Mm-hmm. Like it was like a shoebox, and you turn it on its side and make like a miniature world. Yeah. I feel like I had to make those like so many times throughout elementary school.
Yeah,
did that happen to you?
I think I did that. Yeah, a few times. Yeah, like
Otherlands, whenever.
Books.
Yeah. Whenever I see theirs, I get that vibe, and it makes me so happy because it's like you're a little person inside the world of whatever the candle's world is.
Yeah. When Caitlin was styling that, like if you knew her, she's like one of my best friends. If you knew her, it would make so much sense that she executed it all really, really well.
Like her personality comes out. That's funny because that goes back to what you were saying, and just as we're wrapping up, like you have a very movement-based personality and like a touch kind of feel thing. I can just tell talking to you, but also the way you've described things. And when you look at your portfolio, there's like, even when it's a still shot, there's like a sense of movement in it. Mm-hmm. So like you totally have a vibe.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I do.
I mean, you said you did, but I just like, I'm getting a better sense of it now. And it's fascinating because I think people might think that this job is somewhat a commodity, not as artistic. Like, oh yeah, get the lady to like string up the mochi and whatever it is. Yeah. But you're getting like someone's art. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's also you have to be able to read the client as well. Like you have to predict what they want because sometimes you're not inspired by the work, but you just have to do it and figure it out and like get the client to like it as soon as possible so you don't have to keep fussing with it.
Yes. It's a service job at the end of the day. Okay, before I let you go, we do this at every Fat Mascara interview, a Fat Mascara 5, just like a quickie round about you so people can get to know you. What was the first beauty product you remember loving or using and really liking?
Since I've been working or?
No, personally. Like that first Bonnie Bell or chapstick or whatever.
Oh my goodness. The Lip Smackers Dr. Pepper.
I put it in your head though. I shouldn't have said anything. Was it actually?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it smelled so good that I tried to eat it once. It was not good.
You'd be surprised how many guests we've heard that from. Do you remember which flavor you were into?
The Dr. Pepper one.
Oh, the classic. Love it. Okay. What piece of art, whatever art means to you, do you never get bored by?
Well, I love Cy Twombly. He's my favorite artist. I'm from Houston, and there's a Cy Twombly gallery there that's like my favorite. So if you ever go to Houston, it's beautiful there.
A hot tip. Okay. What would be your fantasy podcast interview subject? Like who you'd want to spend an hour picking their brain?
I don't listen to a ton of podcasts.
No, just like a person that fascinates you. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be a podcast, just like a coffee date with them, dinner date, whatever it is.
I always was curious on what it would be like to hang out with Bill Murray.
Well, okay. And may I ask why?
I don't know. I like weird people. And I really appreciate when you can just kind of see the personality in someone. I don't know. Like, I appreciate like people and the way they shine in their own ways and explore their own personalities. And so he's just like a mysterious one that you're just kind of like, what's going on? It's either that or someone that wants to talk about eating all the time, because I love talking about food.
Oh, well, this is perfect. My next question is, what's your favorite snack?
I go through phases. I love eggs a lot. And I like watching videos of how to make eggs in different ways.
What is your egg prep lately?
Well, right now, I've been doing this like Korean steamed egg for breakfast. Like I had it for breakfast today. But I use I'll like steam eggs.
Like in a dumpling steamer?
Well, I'll do like, what are those white porcelain bowls that you...
Like a ramekin.
Yeah, a ramekin, yeah. I'll like put scramble or like whisk up eggs in there and put hondashi and some hot sesame oil. And that flavor is so good.
And then you just put that in like a water bath and make a little like egg souffle?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what I've been having for breakfast. And then you only have to do it for 10 minutes. Yeah.
To get it to the texture that you like.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a very ASMR breakfast.
Yeah.
Both the preparation of it and the texture that results from...
Yeah. That's like my egg thing right now.
Okay, cool. Good snack. All right, if it's your day off, let's say it's 11 a.m. on your day off. Wait, I'll change up the time. We always say 11 a.m. How about 5 p.m. on your day off? That's a weird in-between time. What would you be doing?
Probably playing pool.
Pool. Are you good?
Yeah.
Where do you play pool?
I'm on 2 league teams. So
Team pool.
Yeah. I'm a captain of the Wednesday team at Amsterdam Billiards in the East Village.
Oh.
Our team's name is Catzilla.
Nice.
Yeah, we all love cats, and we're all like into pool. Yeah.
I feel like this keeps your skills sharp for the set also. Precision.
Yeah. Honestly, I just love sports, and I love like anything that's like a line base, like pool, bowling, whatever it is. Like I love.
Should we get you into archery and shooting?
Okay, I tried archery in Cambodia once, and I was like, this is so hard. Because a lot of like the sports involve understanding your body, and like, I guess it's going back to the movement thing, but your body is the biggest factor in like playing pool and bowling, like tennis, golf, all these things. Like if you don't have the foundation of your body right, or the form, then you're not going to figure it out that well.
Yeah, and like knowing like proprioception, like knowing where your body is in space and how to...
Yeah. So I'm a big pole player, but I just recently got into pole dancing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really hard. I've only taken 3 classes, but
the first time I tried it, I was like, oh, the pole itself spins, which all of a sudden, like, I'm not going to say I lost respect for people that do pole dancing, but I was like, that's how they do it. Because I kept thinking the whole time, like, wouldn't that hurt trying to spin yourself around a metal pole? But the pole has like a sheath that spins. It's so fun.
I haven't done that. I haven't gone that far. I'm only on intro to pole.
Wait,
class 3.
Your pole doesn't move?
Not in the beginning. From what I've done, I haven't like experienced that yet. But I just am doing basics right now.
Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong.
But I think it does move. I don't know.
Well, the one time I got to do it, it had like the pole and then like a circumference of like a metal thing over the whole pole. So when you grabbed it and swung, you were like, it was rotating.
Maybe.
But you're just doing it on a
I'm
still
not sure.
pole.
Yeah, right now it's just still, but it does seem like there is an adjustment to make it move or something. I don't know. My friend, I should ask my friend Ryan. She is like an insane pole person right now. And she's
that's
like,
a fun
I just
new
want
hobby.
to go. Yeah, I want to go upside down. It seems like it feels so good.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm like, I would go to the class and I would be like, screw whatever they're telling me to do. I'm going to like flip myself upside down right now and try it.
Just
like,
hang
I want to
like
be
a
J-Lo
sloth.
in whatever that movie she was in where she was like,
Yeah.
that seems fun. Anyway. Well, this has been so fun. I thank you for like opening up your world to us and telling us more about what you do. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for asking me to join this.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.